After pitching up at Chapel House Farm campsite during a lull in the storm on Sunday night, I awoke to a damp but friendlier looking morning. The plan for today was to head up to High Raise via the path up Greenup Gill. A poor night's sleep and some lingering bad weather made the first part of this route slow going, but the storm over the weekend meant the waterfalls were all putting on their best show. As I reached High Raise and began to descend, the weather began to clear, leaving me with a stunningly beautiful run down into Langstrath. While running through the valley, I bumped into a gentleman called David, who recognised me from YouTube. We had a good natter for a while, and I made my way back to the camp feeling pretty uplifted by the places this little hobby of mine can end up reaching. The rivers really were out in full force today, and while it put paid to my ambitions of wild swimming for the holiday because the rivers were too dangerous to swim in, I was pretty excited to see the waterfalls, just so ridiculously majestic. The next day was a fierce test of my patience and emotional stability. With 13 hours of straight torrential rain putting paid to any adventures, I spent a good chunk of the day hiding in Borrowdale Youth Hostel, reading and eating food. Thankfully, Wednesday morning offered a window of opportunity to shake my legs out without adding to the pile of wet clothes that I wasn't able to get dry very quickly. I made my way out to Castle Crag before coming back around that bit of landscape and joining the Cumbria Way to run back up towards Stonethwaite and the campsite. I knew it was going to be raining for most of the rest of the day, so I planned to head into Keswick to see if I could find a second-hand bookshop and potentially a new waste bag. Before heading into Keswick, I wanted to drop in on my favourite pop-up coffee shop for a coffee and a cookie. New Dawn Coffee Shop is set up at this spot on the shores of Derwent Water on various days of the week, and the cookies are incredible. Thursday was the big one. I'd planned a big long day out for whatever day the weather was going to be playing ball with me the most. I ran out to Honister, and then from Honister it was pretty much a case of hiking up to Brander, and then from there I'd be making my way over to Green Gable, then Great Gable. I was pretty sure the weather was going to be pretty claggy on the tops, so I made sure I had enough kit with me, enough nutrition, and I managed to get a few good views before I ended up in the clouds. I only came across one other person on my route. It was a hiker as I was about to ascend Great Gable, and by that point it was pretty clear I was going to be needing a little bit of assistance from GPS navigation just to find my way through the clag. I don't feel there's any point in just sticking to paper maps when you have all the tools available, but it is obviously always good to make sure you have as many backups as possible when you're out in such poor weather conditions. did get quite disorientated on Kirkfell, and I made the decision that I needed to get out of the clag as quickly as possible to try and stop getting confused. So I did end up descending Kirkfell straight down into Wadsdale rather than going via Blacksail Pass. I would not recommend this really. It's decimating to the quadriceps. However, I made it down into Wadsdale and treated myself to a portion of fish and chips, which is optimal mid-run fuel. And then I headed back to the campsite via the much easier way over via Styhead Tarn. And that pretty much concludes the Lake District adventures for this holiday. It was time to rest up and then set off pretty early the next morning to get back to Sheffield in time for work. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.